Part 6. Dark mass as a platform, power and raw material. We said that dark mass is the father, mother, womb and graveyard of all chemical elements and states in the cosmos. In that case, we experience dark mass as the 11th form of energy. When the dark mass is only the energy potential of all manifestations, relationships and states in the cosmos, it means when it is not yet any of the 9 simple forms of energy, let alone the 10th as a set of portions of energy with identities, then it is a zero energy form, without happening during that duration of it, without being absorbed into any form of energy in the cosmos. The dark mass before releasing itself into the cosmos is the potential, and the dark mass as the finished cosmos is the platform, the scene of the sphere, phase, of happening and the sphere, phase, of memory, and, in that case, the medium for the two. And at the same time, inevitably, the factor of maintaining conditions and relationships in the cosmos, as general gravity. With that, things go like this. In the cosmos, inanimate matter is polarized into plus, minus differences, and living beings into male, female differences. The cosmos itself, taken as a whole, as a set of all material manifestations, is polarized into a third type of difference, the simple 9 forms of energy versus the 10th, which carries self-awareness through the manifestation of itself with the instrument of acquiring that awareness, the brain of man or a similar being in the cosmos, which has a brain as a working operative organ of cognitive actions and products. That polarization of the absolute, that is, God, takes place on the dark mass, as the x-axis and vibrations on the phases of the absolute, prim phase and contra phase. The prim phase, or happening phase, is the phase of the 9 raw energies, and the counter phase, remembrance phase, is the phase of things that happened, thoughts as thinkings and conclusions, and all states and processes in matter. The latter has in it all the works of all the living beings of the cosmos, regardless of their intellectual reach and the value of their works. This means that at the stage of happening, prim, is the reshaping of the energy of the cosmos, and at the stage of memory, counter, is the bookkeeping of these reshapings. The polarization of the absolute is stored on the x-axis. By keeping the 10th energy on it, as refined, pure, filtered by the manifestations of those from the first raw, dark masses of zero charge, which becomes the dark mass as the 11th energy in the cosmos, and the intellectual products of beings with the purpose of self-sanctification of the absolute. That being on this planet is man. The 11th energy of the cosmos is the energy of the so-called dark mass, to which the so-called black holes belong. Dark matter is energy that acts as a medium, in the sense that it maintains the functional relationships of all material things in the cosmos, between galaxies, within galaxies, between planets, on planets and around planets. That is, dark mass is a medium of energetic nature. It does not have the function of space, because distances have only material manifestations that have volumes, and in manifestations that also have volumes. Like fish in water, for example. This essentially means that the sum of all relationships in the cosmos is the effect of the energy action of the dark mass. That effect is actually general gravitation. Gravity is therefore not a force, but an effect. I will explain that later. All living beings of the cosmos are producers of thoughts as conclusions, intentions, plans and decisions. Large cosmic bodies have volumes, but they are in something that has no comparison, in something that exists in nothing. Around the cosmos is constitutive nothing. Therefore, on large celestial bodies dark mass is effective as gravity. In 1687, Isaac Newton explained gravitation as an attractive force between large celestial bodies, which extends inevitably through the entire universe. Of course, many of the calculations he gave are still valid today, but neither he nor his followers defined gravity accurately. And, as I already said, graviton is still being sought by people today. However, no one will ever find a graviton, because gravity, as I said, is generally for the entire cosmos, effects and not forces, under the jurisdiction of dark mass. And at the levels of asteroids, planets and constellations and galaxies, gravity is the effect of magnetism in spheres. Thus, on the counterphase of the cosmos, we find documentation of the process of self-awareness. And the very 10th form of energy, portion with identity, as awareness of its origin and awareness of its nobility, retained on the dark mass as the x-axis. Events on the prime phase and memories on the counterphase are preformations of some sums of energy of the cosmos. And only the sum of the 10th energy on the x-axis is the final, meaningful capital of the absolutely first. Awareness. Self-awareness. Since the cosmos is a closed energy system, as Richard Feynman said, energy cannot be lost, it can only change form. So let's do the maths. That energy that was used in the happening phase is no longer in it, and the entire use of energy in the happening phase is not the same amount of energy transferred to the memory phase, but is only a small part for the happening archive. So, the energy that was used in the event phase certainly falls on the x-axis. Thus, without portions of energy with identity, the 10th in the physics of the cosmos, which is proof of the polarity of the absolute, everything would seem meaningless. Circulation of the starting, undifferentiated form of energy of the dark mass, as if unpolarized, over the fall in 9 simple forms, so that with the emergence of galaxies and life in the cosmos, all ended up unpolarized again on the dark mass of the 11th form. That is not the point of the whole movement from the primary. It absolutely does not play that senseless. The entire transformation of energy in the cosmos leads to the confirmation of the existence of intelligence with a purpose, both in potential and in reality, when everything starts from hibernation. Intelligence cannot be confirmed by any expression or object of any of the 9 simple forms of energy, but all forms together create the stage for the instrument that radiates the 10th form of energy, the human brain. With the 10th form of energy, man, or a similar being, is confirmed by his awareness of himself as the position of the absolute. That confirmation is complete only in this way, with the mind, mindly, in the mind, to find yourself outside of mind, to understand. Get to know and recognize. With the mind and not with rituals or yoga techniques for visualization or concentration. Mindfully and not mindlessly in a trance or in a dream. In the mind as the only worker, which is also a 3-level workshop, for jobs according to their personal interests. And on the 4th level for the state of awareness of oneself as the position of God. To find yourself outside of mind. To recognize. To understand. To identify. For the Absolute, the self-consciousness of one intelligent being in the cosmos is sufficient, so that the memory phase would register that state, and the energy of that state would ennoble the dark mass, in the 11th as the polarity of the Absolute. No matter what the sum is, of what simple forms of energy on the x-axis, after all the simple physical events. Physical happenings are life itself, as physically active chemistry, and therefore also the creation of portions of energy with identity, processes in the brain, amused by thoughts and conclusions. I have already mentioned in several places which brain becomes the consciousness of the Absolute, but I will repeat it here, for those who will not dig my previous texts. There are important answers to the questions: how does the human brain work? And what is the gain for man, as beings with the purpose of raising awareness of the universe? So like this.